Yo, 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 what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, joined here by the one and only mixologist of professional wrestling, my boy Chemical Julian. And welcome to Monday Night Mayhem on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Bodyslam.net. Julian.
Man, we have lots of good stuff to cover tonight. I mean, Monday Night Raw was a good show, and especially after coming off of Not Such Extreme Rules, it's the one thing that I'm going to say starting off the show is how good Raw was and how mediocre Extreme Rules was. And by mediocre, I mean, we said it was a 6.5, not even a 7. It really leads me to believe that because Extreme Rules is a SmackDown heavy show, that just maybe this was done on purpose to try and secure Raw as the A show.
Okay, so before we go any further,
all right,
let's just talk about predictions warfare. Because last night we were tied 3-3.
Yes.
And I seem to remember that I said that the Hurt Business.
Yes, we said it was
Hurt Business was going to return tonight. And what happened tonight?
We're back in business.
HB was back in business. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The fucking Hurt Business. Right back where they started.
At 8 o'clock. WWE. I mean, at the top of the hour.
On the dot.
I mean, the show started off with Bobby Lashley versus Big E for the WWE Championship. And who comes down to interfere in the match? Shelton Benjamin and damn it. Cedric Alexander.
We're going to wait for you to keep going. There you go.
So, and, in full Hurt Business gear, they're not dressed in the suits, they're in full Hurt Business gear, and they came out to interfere in the match. They attacked Big E, which brings out the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
And New Day came out looking strong. Xavier Woods is being booked very strong these days. Very strong.
He is.
And because of the interference in this match, of course, your GMs declared that they were going to have Bobby Lashley versus Big E for the championship at the end of Raw in a solid steel cage.
Now, let me tell you, this is the booking. This is the booking for WWE. Let's have a shitty pay-per-view. Let's have a pay-per-view that's so fucking bad that even our own wrestlers are talking shit on Twitter about how horrible the pay-per-view was. Let's just have the worst fucking pay-per-view on God's green earth. Horrible. And then let's fucking stack pile Raw. Now, see, this is their booking every week. Raw, Hot Shots booking every week. 3 weeks ago, Big E cash in his money in the bank and become the WWE champion. Last week, you had Roman Reigns and the fucking Bloodline versus the New Day.
Yep.
This week, at the top of the hour, now keep in mind, every week it's been at the top of the hour. They want to bring those fans in. They want to be, hey, having the biggest fucking match at 8 o'clock.
Well, remember what they're doing is
AEW booking.
They're bookending Raw with Big E or with the championship match.
Mm-hmm. But they start the show with a championship match.
Correct.
They start the show with these huge main event pay-per-view caliber matches.
Well, I mean, AEW did the same thing with Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan.
That's what I'm saying. It's counter-booking to AEW. AEW does it, so they're like, oh, shit. They drew 2 million people. Let's do the same. So they put the match on. And we all know it's going to go to a no contest. We all know that.
Because
shout
it's a 30-minute time limit.
Shane.
Hey, y'all, it's a 30-minute time limit. 30-minute time limit.
You know what, Brandon? Brandon was right. Brandon called it last night. The Hurt Business is back in business. Look, no, I'm not downing the WWE's for their booking. I'm just saying, it's typical WWE booking off of what AEW does, which is awesome. That they're learning, they're developing. Now they're trying to make Raw just as good as SmackDown,
Correct.
and they're doing it, which is fucking awesome. Because I get tired of coming on the podcast week after week with shitty Raw results because Raw is horrible. Tonight, Raw stepped their game up.
Well, but remember, Raw is supposed to be the A show. It's supposed to be the flagship show. And for many months, it was not. For many months, SmackDown was the hot show. And that was because of Paul Heyman. That was because of the bloodline. That was because of everything going on. And dude, if you go online and you read the live results from SmackDown, even Baron Corbin was getting huge pops coming out. And they're right, Sasha. So when you have Baron Corbin getting these huge pops on SmackDown, I mean, you've really got to do something more with Raw to really tell people, hey, this is supposed to be the A show. We got to do something about this. And at the same time now, Raw is actually starting to put on, one, more matches, and two, they're starting to use more. I saw more of the Raw roster tonight than I've seen in weeks.
I agree with Oscar right here. The Hurt Business should not ever broken up. That gimmick was so over. So over.
It was great.
Vince just didn't see the Hurt Business's faces. Like the Hurt Business was getting so much of a big pop. Just like, no, we can't do that. They're over. We got to stop it. So they broke them up. But I will say this. Raw starts out with a banger of a match. Into a no contest. How do they follow it up? Eric from the Viking Raiders versus Angel Garza. Why? Julian, answer that question, please. Why?
Because you need to have the big, nasty Vikings against the suave Spanish heartthrobs.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to build up this new tag team of the Spanish heartthrobs, or whatever they're going to call them, and put them over someone strong. Now, it wasn't a tag team match; it was a singles match. But they're heels. You got to have interference. You got to kind of solidify them. And also Raw is backtracking because for the longest time Vince was like, "Nah, we don't want tag teams." Now we're getting more and more tag teams.
Dude, look, the Raw has 9 tag teams.
Correct.
SmackDown has 7 tag teams. For someone that claims they don't like tag team wrestling, Vince is stockpiling tag team wrestling right now, which finally works for them. They're trying to make the tag team belts mean something. If I were booking, I would remove the NXT women's tag team titles. I would remove the SmackDown tag team titles. And I'd have all those teams, both brands, going back and forth for the tag team belts. I'd have all the women from NXT, all the women from SmackDown, all the women from Raw challenging for those tag team belts. That is the only way you're going to make any of those championship prestigious.
And also what we have now is we've got factions. We've got 3-man teams.
Oh, man.
So we've got the New Day back together. We got the Hurt Business back together. We've got
and the Bloodline.
And they officially said tonight, oh, what an army Jinder Mahal has put together. So he's got his faction.
Jinder, Veer, and Shanky.
Yeah. So we're gonna see, who else comes together, who else decides to, align themselves and make another faction, because there's got to be another faction out there. I wouldn't be surprised if Alpha Academy added a third person.
I wouldn't be surprised if Baron Corbin, Riddick Moss, and one other person form a happy clique, and they all can call themselves Happy Feet.
Dude, it's hilarious because I had zero memory of Riddick Moss, none whatsoever at all. I was literally like someone who just turned on Raw and was like, "Who is this guy?"
It was funny when we were talking about it offline. You were like, "Who the fuck is Riddick Moss?" And not many people remember that he came back, and he was part of that little group with what's his nuts, Happy Moss, with the dude I can't stand. I'm glad he's gone from WWE right now. The football, the hype bro, Mojo Rawley. I couldn't fucking stand him.
What was he?
Yeah.
That's probably what I don't remember.
When Mojo was doing his
everything Mojo
gimmick.
Dude, everything Mojo, because
you ain't gotta stay hype. Like, shut up with that shit.
Well, remember they did the thing with Mojo where he was looking in the mirror and he had like veins on his face or whatever?
Yes,
I was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm out. And then the thing with Gronk, when he was jumping off of the thing.
I can't stand Gronk either.
Yeah, I lumped them in together. They were hype. Oh no, the hype bros was with yeah, Matt Cardona. Yeah, so Viking Raiders and Humberto Carrillo, the Lucha Boys. Carrillo.
That's what I'm gonna call them, the Lucha Boys. Yeah, Humberto Carrillo and Hector Garza, Angel Garza, whatever, whatnot. They're talking about either going to Raw or going to SmackDown, and they're the hottest tag team of the WWE. Whatever, you know, they got their gimmick over. Angel Garza wins with the wing clipper. Honestly, Angel Garza is really good.
He's very
Roberto
good.
Carrillo is really good. But what the WWE is failing to do, what they've been screwing themselves for years. They start a gimmick, they start something, and they just drop it. And no one gets, like, wrestling fans are stupid. Like, we forgot that those guys are feuding.
Well, we are. We have wrestling fan
like
memory.
All of a sudden now they're a tag team. Yeah, like all of a sudden they're a tag team now. You know, they hate each other fucking like 3 months ago.
Well,
I guess all that sitting in catering finally.
Think of it like this: wrestling is episodic television, and unless you're binge watching a show, a lot of times you're not going to remember everything that happens week after week. So if something is going on one week and you half-ass it and then you drop it, and then you just don't do anything about it later, people will easily forget. I mean, people forgot JTG was working for WWE for years. I mean, this dude would just show up occasionally and everybody would say, holy shit, JTG still working here? So, I mean, that's just
think about it this way. Think about it this way. R-Truth has still got a job. I don't understand how you can get rid of all of these big name guys, but R-Truth still has a job. And he's
not only
like,
that, but you see R-Truth on TV
75 fucking championship wins or whatever, whatnot.
But you see R-Truth.
He's got more titles than anyone in the whole history of the WWE.
He's on TV every week.
Man. I just don't get it.
R-Truth is
I guess
on
it's
TV
not for us to get it.
So the next match of the night was Karrion Kross versus that guy.
No. Before we do all that, we got to talk about Charlotte Flair taking over Alexa Bliss and how she destroyed Lily. How Bliss had her. Do you know that was the hot topic on fucking Twitter today? Everyone talked about Kevin Dunn. You know how Kevin Dunn with his 5 million camera cuts? Literally, Kevin Dunn's camera cuts are just like that. But he seriously lingered on Alexa Bliss's mouth with the big ass Alka-Seltzer tablet.
The Alka-Seltzer shot. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous. But you're forgetting about the R-Truth title, the WWE 24/7 Championship, currently held by Reggie,
who actually looked good with Ricochet.
Right, Reggie versus Ricochet for the 24. I don't get it. Like, did this belt's become a real title now?
So check this out. They said at the beginning of the match, the 24/7 rules have been suspended, so we can have a real match.
Mm-hmm.
So they start having a real match, and it's a good match, but your 24/7 crew interfere to cause a DQ so that the 24/7 rules are
Drew
reinstated.
Gulak, Drake Maverick, and R-Truth.
Yes, and they go to, they go to attack Reggie, who of course escapes. Before we go to commercial, we see Tozawa sit cross-legged in the middle of the ring, which makes you go, uh-oh. So after commercial, Tozawa's still in the ring saying, I want a match. I don't care who it's with. I'm not leaving until I get a match. Of course, someone's coming out. And we get the Raw debut of Bearcat Keith Lee. When I tell you that WWE has gone into this Bearcat thing where he's got little claw marks on his gear.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all didn't have to do that. Y'all didn't have to do that. It could have just said Bearcat.
You know what this is? This is basically Vince saying, pal, I don't think you have any kind of charisma. So we got to give you a gimmick that the fans will like, pal. And you know what, pal? It's going to be a fucking tiger. Nah, you know what, pal? You're big like a bear, but you're like a cat. Let's call you Bearcat. Give me a fucking break, man. I know. It's been said online.
Yeah,
he's paying homage to an old wrestler.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll bite.
I buy that. I think it's cool. I think that's good. And as his character develops, he can go ahead and say, that he's paying homage to who's an old wrestler whose name I can't remember.
Exactly. Bearcat Lee. Really? Oh my God. They did. You know what, Shane? You're right. They did your boy Keith Lee dirty. I mean, first they brought him back and he was wearing a fucking, I don't know. They got. I don't know.
The funny thing is, he looks nothing like Bearcat Wright. He looks nothing like him.
No, he doesn't.
And I mean, I have not seen a Bearcat Wright match, but from what I remember, I mean, his wrestling style, I mean, whatever. But he came out tonight. He didn't say anything. He was just a monster heel, which is a great look for him. I mean, that's a great way for him to work. And he showed a lot of power.
That's what he's been doing he's been doing dark matches as the Bearcat Lee gimmick.
Mm-hmm. And he worked the big man style, which was great. He destroyed Tozawa. He got an easy pin, and that's fine. I just really could have done without the claw marks on the gear. I mean, that was just, you can call somebody Bearcat, but you don't have to be like, hey kids, look, he's a animal or a bear cat or a Bearcat. Like, he's not Wolverine. He's not.
Quite honestly, here's the thing. They can do these gimmicks and not make you look stupid. They can do these gimmicks. You want to get that gimmick over? Make him like Big Cat Ernie Ladd. You know what I'm saying? Just don't give him a stupid nickname. Let him come out there and earn the name. Let him come out there and just maul the fuck out of someone.
Correct.
Yeah, next thing you know, he'll come out to the ring wearing fucking Wolverine claws on his hands like gloves, and fucking Wolverine's mask or some shit, or he'll come dressed in a bear suit next week because Vince is weird like that. Well, look what he did to fucking Karrion Kross.
Hopefully they don't give him the bear hug as a finisher.
That's probably going to be the finish.
Or the Bearcat hug.
Vince is like, damn, pal, we should use that bear hug too. We all know.
Like Shane said, are they going to change his theme to old Baskin, his cat? Because he had the same Keith Lee intro.
Baskin, my kitty.
But he was Bearcat Keith Lee. Sorry, he was Keith Bearcat Lee.
See, this is Monday Night Mayhem After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. We're over here talking about Baskin and his kitty. Yeah, Julian is giving them ideas. Julian, stop right now.
See, I'm not trying to get us demonetized.
Like that bear from the Charmin commercial sitting on the toilet.
My poop doesn't stick.
Why is it so thick? Oh man. Let's try to get demonetized tonight.
So next up, we had a good match. And when I say a good match, I mean, it was an Extreme Rules match that we should have had last night.
Hold on. Wait. So you're telling me Raw?
Yes.
Raw went extreme, but a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules was less extreme than the bear on the toilet in the Charmin commercial.
This was Extreme Rules Rewind.
Oh my God, here we go with that.
And it was...
Before we go into this, let's go to a quick commercial break because
all right.
I think we should pay some bills before we hear this bullshit. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules...
You want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Yo, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we go into the craziness that was this match that Julian's about to lay down, I want to do something real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do a giveaway. I don't usually do giveaways, but you know what? I'm going to do a giveaway tonight.
All right. What are we giving away?
This is what we're going to do. For the first person to subscribe, let's subscribe on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel on www.bodyslam.net. Go subscribe to those two channels right here, right now. You send me a video. You send me a picture that says you are now subscribed to the YouTube channels. You have your choice of WrestleMania 22, the box set, which featured Big Show versus Kane, Big Show and Kane versus Carlo and Chris Masters, the Money in the Bank ladder match with with Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam, Shelton Benjamin, Matt Hardy, Finlay, and Bobby Lashley. The United States Championship match with JBL versus Chris Benoit. A hardcore match, Mick Foley and Edge. And a match that I know Chemical Julian loves.
Oh, yeah.
Booker T and Sharmell versus the Boogeyman. Then we got Trish Stratus versus Mickie James.
You just didn't say that.
Sucker. Shawn Michaels versus Mr. McMahon. That was a no-holds-barred match. Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton, triple threat for the World Heavyweight title. Triple H versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Tori Wilson versus Candice Michelle in a Playboy pillow fight. That's one. Or you can go get WrestleMania 27. The Rock returns. No holds barred match with the streak on the line. The Undertaker versus Triple H. World Heavyweight Championship match. Edge versus Berto Del Rio. Randy Orton versus the cult of personality himself, CM Punk. A 6-man tag team match. Big Show, Kane, and Kofi Kingston with Santino Marella versus the Core. I mean, he was kind of the shits back then. Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, and Ezekiel Jackson. Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes. Jerry the King Lawler versus Michael Cole. With Stone Cold Steve Austin as the ref.
Was this a Kiss My Foot
Miz
match?
and John Cena. Trish Stratus, Nicole Snooki, and John Morrison versus Lay Cool and Dolph Ziggler.
Bless you.
Whew. 3 disc set. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get those subscriptions right now. Go ahead and subscribe to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Also, go ahead and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, to www.bodyslam.net, ladies and gentlemen. That is www.bodyslam.net for all your wrestling news needs. Go over there. Tell your boy Cassidy that the franchise sent you. That is www.bodyslam.net. Julian.
Yes, sir.
Nikki almost a superhero. Nikki ASH. Remember that.
She had a match tonight.
Almost a superhero. Nikki almost a superhero. Okay, let's go to the next match.
Next match. Oh, yes. It was our Extreme Rules match. It was
United States title match.
It was what we should have had last night. It was your United States title, your United States champion, Damian Priest, defending his U.S. title for the last time. No more. This is it. This is your final shot. No more. End of an era, end of a program against Sheamus.
End of an era.
So no more Sheamus versus Damian Priest. In the Extreme Rules match, no disqualification, pin or submission, tables, ladders, chairs, kendo sticks, whatever. There are no ladders, by the way. I'm sorry, that's kind of like false advertising. But there were tables, there were chairs, there were kendo sticks. And it was a really good match. We saw several tables broken. We saw several chairs used and people's heads going through chairs. Sheamus hit white noise off the ring apron with Damian Priest through a table on the outside. Beautiful. It was beautiful.
Why couldn't they have that match last night?
That's what I was saying. That's probably what everybody was saying. That's what probably everybody in the back was like, why didn't this happen last night? But they saved it for Raw.
Shane said it himself. I'm going to call a lot of BS. This is not the last match. You know, it's not. Vince will probably rewind this shit at the next pay-per-view. They'll probably be defending that championship in Saudi Arabia.
Well, speaking of last matches, we'll get to that in a second. Because he's gonna turn up again, and you'll see how. So Damian Priest wins. He goes over. It was a hard-fought match, and he cemented himself as a true fighting champion who shoots arrows into the air and sets the sky on fire and all that shit. But yeah, he went over. He won. So Sheamus is out. I don't know what he's going to do. You know, maybe he'll go take his sword and go feud with Jinder Mahal or something. I don't know. But it was a good match, and Sheamus just found himself on the losing end of things as he got pinned 1, 2, 3 definitively in the middle of the ring.
Here's the thing. Sheamus has been putting in some great matches.
Yes, he has.
Like this has been the year for Sheamus. He has stepped his game up and had some of the most amazing matches all fucking year long. I don't get it. Even Cheryl says this match right here was pay-per-view worthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It should have been on last night. Even if they had, and better yet, they should have done this with Jeff Hardy and thrown a ladder in there because ladders is his thing. You know, they should have made it Extreme Rules last night because the show was called Extreme Rules, and they should have had tables, ladders, and chairs. I mean, you have a Hardy there, so there should be ladders, and you have tables and you have chairs and you have kendo sticks. I mean, just go ahead, do it, use them. But they didn't. Maybe it was in the budget. Maybe they didn't have enough money for kendo sticks for 2 matches. I don't know.
I mean, why not? They had like 30 kendo sticks wrapped up in one for Balor beating the shit out.
Hey, that was a kendo
Oh
stick.
man, like, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't watch the pay-per-view last night, I will tell you, when they pulled out that kendo stick, like Roman pulled out one, and Balor pulled out like 20 taped together. It was like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It was so funny. It was like, my sword's big. Oh wow, his sword is bigger. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, like I said, this is the Roundtable podcast, Roundtable Pro podcast after dark, ladies and gentlemen. Well, look, we were talking about factions.
We're talking about factions.
You got Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky as a faction.
An army, quite an army. Jinder Mahal has put
Yeah.
together for himself.
Apparently, you got Mustafa Ali and Mansoor and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, so the way this played out, they did a vignette at the beginning where Ali kind of didn't want to team up with Jeff Hardy. He was like, why are we doing this? And, Mansoor was talking about, oh man, it's Jeff Hardy and he's so great. And who else could we team with? And this is going to be fantastic. And, Ali was like, oh, if Jeff Hardy was here, I'd have one thing to tell him. And then, of course, Jeff Hardy comes from behind him. Was like, what would that be? And he's like, oh, this how great it would be to team up with you. He totally chickens out about it. He was totally
Ali is so over, man. Ali is so over. I fucking love his gimmick. I didn't like the retribution bullshit.
Yeah.
But like this whole odd couple thing that they got going on actually works.
Yeah, it's Odd Couple. It definitely is an Odd Couple. So Odd Couple gimmick plus Jeff Hardy gets beat by I don't know what they call them, the Saudi army, the Maharajas.
The Maharajas Mafia.
Maharaja Mafia. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
Maharajas Mafia.
And yeah, Veer and Shanky were put over as being huge and strong, and what
big.
top tier threats they are.
They're so big.
They're so big.
We make fun of this all the time, and it's because, like Michael Cole, he's so big, almost is so big. We fucking get it. He's big.
Well, to even show how big Veer is, a lot of the camera shots came from the from the lower level, and they were shooting up to show just how tall he is. And when he does his choke slams, like, oh, he's getting them like 3 floors up in the sky. All that kind of stuff. So, they're putting him over, and they talked a lot about this great army that Jinder Mahal has put together. So we've got another solid faction that looks like it's going to get some traction, and they're going to be around for a minute. Unless, of course, Veer and Shanky turn on him, and Jinder Mahal comes to the rescue. Then Drew McIntyre comes to the rescue, and then all of a sudden we have a run-in by Heath Slater. And then you got the
3MB. You're not giving that 3MB up, are you? Look, I said last night the Hurt Business is coming back. You are strongly pitching for fucking 3MB's return. Ladies and gentlemen, no one wants to hear the smooth stylings of Drew McIntyre and the amazing air guitar skills of Heath Slater and just the bass and baritone of Jinder Mahal. No one wants to hear that shit.
Man, I'm telling you.
I personally don't want to hear it.
They come back with Hornswoggle as their boss.
Oh my God.
Hornswoggle in a suit. Their boss manager. It's got legs, man. It's got legs. I'm just saying. You heard
Shout out to my boy
Travis
Travis King. Yeah, it is what it is. Well, it's been a night. It's been a night.
It's been a great night.
Raw actually is, I'm going to honestly say this. Raw is better than the fucking pay-per-view last night.
Yeah, for real. For real. And you say that it was done because so many people shit on pay-per-view that they had to make Raw better. So I'll say it's 20% that, and then I'm gonna say that it was 40%. No, tell you what, I'll say it's 30% that.
Sure.
And I'll say that 40% is they're trying to counter program AEW. But then I'm going to say another 30% of it is they're really trying to say, oh shit, we forgot that Raw's supposed to be the A program. We need to
know what it really is. Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful put up a story about what's going on between the WWE, Fox, and USA networks.
Yeah.
USA is like, hey, what the fuck? Fox has everything. We're paying you $1 billion, and Fox has all the major stars. And we thought we had the A show because this longest running episodic television show has been on USA for like decades.
Correct.
And now you're drawing really shitty ratings while your B show is on Fox, and Fox is paying you less than we are paying you. And Fox has everything.
And so what do they do?
So there's going to be a special show in Los Angeles at the Fox Studios. It's going to be a WWE show just for the people who are paying for Fox over here. So trust me. It's I read the article. Sean Ross Sapp is on point with it. It's crazy how Vince is just like, please.
Well, and so you also have to remember that with Big E cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase and winning the championship, him being champion and the New Day being back together definitely gives a reinvigoration to Raw. And now with the Hurt Business back together, they can definitely be heels in Vince's eyes by feuding with the Hurt Business. By feuding with the New Day. So now you got the Hurt Business back, which everybody wanted to see. You got the New Day there, which everybody wanted to see. You don't just have Xavier. You don't have Xavier and Kofi just doing these one-off like singles matches or tag matches, and you have Xavier Woods looking really strong, getting some really strong booking out there. So
they're finally putting Xavier Woods over. That guy has got so much charisma. He's got so much talent.
Yeah.
He's the only member of that team so far that has not gotten the mega push that they should have gotten. You know what I mean? And I think that they're talking about the King of the Ring. Give him King of the Ring.
Hey, you know what? The simple fact that he was Consequences Creed, that he was tag teams, that he was a tag team champion as part of Truth and Consequences. I will bet you that Vince is like, he's not one of our homegrown guys. So until I feel that the stink of all that has kind of shaken off of him, which it did a long time ago. They had him coming out to Funkasaurus's old music for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
I agree, Brandon. He does deserve a singles title. Give him a run with the Intercontinental title. Fuck.
When New Day came out, they had them as preachers.
That's what their gimmick was supposed to be: obnoxious preachers. And they were like, their gimmick was supposed to be they were going to come in, and Kofi said this on a podcast. So they came in, they were supposed to be. Biggie said it too. They were supposed to be these super obnoxious fucking preachers, right? Like we're talking TV evangelist dudes, and they start doing their New Day gimmick, and the fans just they got sucked into it, and it's like no matter how hard they try to turn them heel, it didn't work.
Well, the thing is, so you remember back when they had the blue suits and whatnot, and the vignettes of Big E preaching and the choir behind him and all that. It was like, okay, let's see where it goes. And these guys just turn chicken shit into chicken salad. But it's really funny because when I listened to that same podcast, and they had been pitching ideas over and over and over. And they found, they became friends and they decided they wanted to work together. And they said that they came to Vince with this idea. And Vince is like, I got it. You're going to be preachers. And they were just all like, and they're just like, fuck it, we'll take it. We'll take it and run. I mean, this is our shot. We'll just take it and run with it. And they did, and they did.
You know, most people, they get these gimmicks, and it's not so much the gimmick that's shit. It's how the person takes the gimmick and makes it their own. And
Correct.
they made this gimmick their own. They came in and they straight up knocked it out of the park. This gimmick was like, we want you guys to be obnoxious and we want people to hate you. And it was like, who gonna hate Kofi?
Preach the power of
Who gonna hate
positivity.
Biggie? Biggie is just a ball of fucking sunshine, man. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna hate this guy? You know, like they tried to put them over his heels, and it just did not work.
I mean, they
And
gave him a
Vince
bad.
hates that.
I mean, they just they gave him a bad gimmick. They gave him some crazy costumes, and they managed to turn it around and make it something bigger. Which brings us to our next match, Karrion Kross.
Okay, I'm gonna say some very controversial stuff right here on this podcast.
Dun, dun,
So,
dun, dun.
My comments do not reflect those of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast or BodySlam.net. They're simply my own. Yeah, I know I'm the one that's always throwing the disclaimer up for other people, but they're simply my own comments. Jackson Riker is a piece of shit. Jackson Riker is a racist piece of shit. And it befuddles me that the WWE fired the other two guys that had nothing to do with the controversial bullshit.
Correct.
And they kept the racist guy, the guy who caused all the heat. They kept.
Yes.
I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
Maybe they just need a true, like an inbred heel.
But they wanted him to be, and they're trying to push him to be a face, like with the whole thing with him and Elias. Like Elias is another one of those characters that they couldn't get over as a heel because he was so, he had so much charisma. I mean, the guy comes out with WWE stands for walking with Elias, and people are popping for that shit.
So, in that instance, I mean, if he did that in the back for anybody, you would have known that was going to get over.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you didn't want it to get over, why would you let him do it?
I don't know. Just like Brandon said, what the hell happened? What the hell ever happened to Elias's promos? Elias is dead.
Yeah,
they killed him.
He was in a cemetery with his tombstone, and he's dead.
Until next week, when they need someone else to pop up.
Yeah, he'll come back for Survivor Series of the Rumble or something like that. So anyway, Jackson Riker versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross actually cut a promo earlier in the show. He was rambling on about death and killing people and paying penance or something like that. Anyway, in a suit, and then of course when he comes out in the Demolition Karrion outfit, and fairly quickly he just puts Jackson Riker in the straight jacket and chokes him out and gets the win.
I like the fact they did the Saito suplex on him too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Karrion Kross. I like the fact that Karrion Kross came up from the main roster. Or came up to the main roster, and they found something for him to do. Like they gave him something. He needs three things. One, he needs a personality. He's a Vince McMahon body guy. I've known Karrion Kross for a long time on the Indies. Killer Kross was great on the Indies for two reasons. He had a very distinctive gimmick, and he has Scarlett Boudreaux. By the way, congratulations to Karrion Kross and Scarlett Boudreaux. They just got engaged last week. So congratulations.
I saw that. Congrats.
But three things he needs. One, he needs to get rid of the fucking gimp outfit. I mean, Vince is a weirdo. He's like, hey, pal, you're sweaty and you're buff. All your muscles are just glistening everywhere. You look good. Why don't we put you in a sex suit? Make you a gimp.
Vince is recycling old gimmicks. So he busted out the old demolition outfit, and he recently busted out the Outback Jack outfit for the guy.
He said, "Listen here, man." He said, "Listen here, man. Listen here, pal. I just watched Pulp Fiction, and I like this outfit gimmick with you. It might work for you. You should put this on. By the way, I'm gonna make Triple H mad because I'm gonna bury his fucking talent that he built."
Hey, well, Karrion Kross may be building an army because during the match he yelled to Jackson Riker, "I'm your commanding officer now."
Boom. Shout out to commanding officers everywhere.
I'm your CO. I'm your new CO.
Oh my God, you make Vince sound like a pimp. Cheryl, I'm not making Vince sound like anything. I'm just telling the truth. Vince is the PIMP of professional wrestling.
Don't ever let that be lost on you. Vince Kennedy McMahon is a pimp.
Dark side of the ring, Vince McMahon pimping. Could you see it now?
Oh, man, I sure could.
So Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, they're backstage, and Dewdrop says she wants to answer Charlotte Flair's challenge. Now look, Dewdrop, Piper Niven. I'm not going to call her Dewdrop because that just sounds stupid. Piper Niven was destroying people in Shimmer and Shine. Yeah. She was destroying people on the Indies in the UK. She was in the fucking Mae Young Classic. She is super over, like she is uber talented. Like she is so fucking good. I think you saddle her with a gimmick like this.
They made her happy. They made her happy Piper.
Yeah. I just don't get it. But she gets a chance. She gets a chance to challenge for the championship tonight against Charlotte Flair. And
yeah, shenanigans.
That's the word of the week. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I just gotta say this right now. Monday nights we have Monday Night Mayhem. Friday nights we do a AEW Rampage Friday night show, and we're mixing Rampage in with a little SmackDown. We never use the word shenanigans when it comes to AEW. Why is that? Oh, I know why. It's because we're watching professional wrestling as to sports entertainment. So the Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle is taking on AJ Styles. Riddle comes down to his little fucking scooter.
A great match.
What's the thing with the birds flying when he kicks his flip flops off? It is what it is.
Maybe he trains pigeons with Mike Tyson.
That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. Honestly, though, it was actually a pretty good match.
I mean, it was a really good match. Really strong, strong move sets. AJ busted out the Styles Clash, which we haven't seen in a while. He and Riddle really went at it. It was a good match. Again, this could have been on Extreme Rules with Extreme Rules. But this was another hot shot match that made both Riddle and AJ look very, very strong. And the funny thing is, AJ has been with Almas for a few months now, and kind of been, you might have thought that maybe AJ was injured and was just kind of like using Almas to kind of, take the stress off of him for some of these matches and just let Almas hit the big man moves because he's so large. But he looked, this match did away with all that. He looked as good as he's ever been, and he was doing all the signature moves and the flying forearms and everything else. I think he did everything except the calf crusher. But the reversals and the Styles Clash, it looked great.
Well, I think that on a scale of 1 to 10, that match was a solid 8. I'm not really into Riddle, but The match was great. Probably one of the better matches. It should have been on the pay-per-view last night. But, that's just me. I'm just a guy.
Hey, check this out. We totally skipped over Doudrop and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. I just didn't want to talk about it.
well, there's a whole other piece of that match that we got to kind of cover here.
Sure, did say he did the calf crusher almost at the end of the match.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about that match. I really didn't want to talk about that shit, but let's talk about it anyway.
So, I mean, Doudrop was just working a big woman style, and Charlotte was dealing with her. But then all of a sudden, Miss I Can't Work, her music hit as a distraction.
Eva Marie.
Yeah, which allowed Charlotte Flair to hit the what's her finisher move? The
God damn
it. It wasn't the figure eight, it was the other one.
No, it was the other one. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so she goes ahead and hits her finishing move, and so Charlotte gets the win. And Eva Marie comes in, I guess, to celebrate, and Charlotte goes ahead and clocks Eva Marie and leaves. And then Eva Marie gets up and grabs the mic and starts talking.
Natural selection. That's what it's called.
Natural selection.
All right.
So Eva Marie gets up and starts running her mouth on the mic. And who comes out but Shayna Basler to choke the shit out of her? Yeah, so I don't know if Shayna Basler was supposed to be a heel, but this definitely was not received as a heel. It wasn't received as a heel match or as a heel move. And let me tell you why. They did a flashback to last week when Shayna Basler stomped on Nia Jax's arm on the ring steps. Now, this week it was re-edited where last week we saw her put her hand inside the hole inside of the side of the steps and stomp it there. But that's not what they showed. They just showed her stomp her arm on the steps itself. Well, she did the same thing again this week. And the crowd was chanting one more time. One more time.
Okay, so
one more time.
Like I said last night on the podcast, and I believe I said it last week, wrestling fans are crazy. You guys have a bloodlust like I've never experienced in my life.
Well,
like I told you about the little boy who told me that.
Who
little boy the other night. Huh?
Who do they hate more? Is it? I mean, so you have two people in the ring. You have two heels in the ring. You have Eva Marie and you have Shayna Basler. In this instance, now one of your heels is now the face, and the face is Shayna Basler because they really hate Eva Marie.
Look, people, like I said, wrestling fans are crazy. They like this shit. Wrestling fans like to see someone get their ass handed to them. Okay. And I love it. I love it. I'm all about the violence. I'm all about the violence. And for her to do what she did to Nia Jax last week, and then to come back and do it to Eva Marie, she's basically staking her claim as being the baddest bitch on the block.
And like I've been saying for the past few weeks, everybody remembers what a badass Shayna Basler was and how she was. They remember her tearing up Lana, stretching the shit out of her in the middle of the ring when they took the tag team belts off of them.
I will put it to you this way. If you remember, was it last year or was it the year before when she came up from NXT and they put her ass in the women's elimination chamber?
Yes.
And she ran through everybody.
Yep.
She ran. Then they gave her that stupid biting Becky Lynch's neck like a vampire shit. But she ran through everybody.
She did.
And the story was Becky Lynch went to Vince and was like, I want to drop the belt to her. And then she got pregnant. You know, the stiffest worker in the business. Put Sting out for a little bit, put Becky Lynch out for a little bit. Shout out to you, Seth Rollins. That was the Blue Chew plug of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Chew, the male enhancement drug. Anyway.
So that match ends with the crowd chanting one more time and really getting behind Shayna Basler. So what you gonna do?
Look at them last night. They were chanting, "We want tables."
Yeah.
Fans were like, "We want tables. We want someone to get hurt." Extreme Rules.
Hey, and speaking of killers, on live TV, Goldberg threatened to kill Bobby Lashley.
Oh, look. Goldberg talking about his son Gage. The fact that he said he's going to enjoy every second of the process because Gage is his son and Lashley is about to be his victim. Like, I don't know, man, but saying you're going to kill someone on national TV is probably a fucking bad thing to do.
Well, he said it at the pay-per-view also at SummerSlam. He kept yelling at him, while he was holding Gage. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Well, you better hope Lashley doesn't end up dead.
Lashley is in a hotel room, and they're like, "Shit, bring in Goldberg."
Now,
Vince might actually make that a storyline. So
yeah, he probably
watch what
would.
you say.
Yeah, you better watch out because Vince is listening to this podcast and stealing all your shit.
All of a sudden, Lashley shows up missing in Saudi Arabia.
Right?
These Saudi Arabian police thinking he's dead, and oh shit! And then what they'll do is they'll haul off Lashley to the police station for questioning, and then Lashley will show up. So they'll take Goldberg to the police station for questioning. Then Lashley will show up in the ring,
and Goldberg will steal a police car and get to the ring
with somebody else, and then they'll just redo the whole finger poke of doom.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Well, look. Here's the thing. There's something else that happened right here after this whole thing. And in my opinion, this is Chemical Julian's favorite part of the night. His favorite part of the night, ladies and gentlemen. And it's only his favorite part of the night because we're talking about super brutality.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about Rhea Ripley and
Nikki, almost a superhero, Nikki ASH.
That's right. He finally did it right, ladies and gentlemen. We won't get sued by WWE tonight.
Because it's right here in front of me. I have
right.
to read it. Nikki, almost a superhero, Nikki ASH.
Mm-hmm.
She suggested they get matching outfits.
Oh my God. Sarah Schreiber backstage with him. So funny.
They can be superheroes.
They're doing the whole opposites attract thing. They still work as a team.
Superheroes.
They're calling themselves Super Brutality, which in my opinion is actually a pretty good fucking name. But Nikki asked Sarah Schreiber to wear a blue cape.
Yes.
That's too much. That's too much. But it's appealing to the kids.
She's almost a superhero.
It's appealing to the kids, and at least they're doing something with the women's tag team belts. I like to see them go down there to fucking NXT and defend the belts of NXT.
Well, they did show up on SmackDown, and Nikki had a chance to beat Natalya.
Yeah, well,
which not saying much, but still.
Yeah. Anyway, so that leads to the steel cage being lowered from the rafters right before the commercial break. Now, the shit's about to go down, ladies and gentlemen. And since the shit's about to go down
in a solid steel cage.
In a solid steel cage, we're going to do a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Professional wrestling is one of the toughest sports going today. If you ever dreamed of being a professional wrestler, then former WWE superstar and World Tag Team Champion Sir Mo of the famed tag team Men on a Mission invites you, yes, you, to join his Bumps and Bruises Academy. Now in 2 locations in Carrollton, Texas and Sherwood, Arkansas. Allow Sir Mo and his head coach, Dante Smiley, and other coaches to get you on the road to an exciting and rewarding career. Classes forming now for your shot. Contact Sir Mo at 704-819-7312 or fill out an information questionnaire now. Don't wait, make your dreams come true today by joining the Bumps and Bruises Pro Wrestling Academy.
Hi, this is James Beard with SWE Fury, and you're watching the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. I don't ask for much on the podcast. I mean, well, at the end of the show, we ask you for money, but I don't ask for much on the podcast. But what I would like for you guys to do is do me a solid favor. Go to mydailychoice.com. Just check it out. That's www.mydailychoice.com. That's a friend of mine runs his website. Okay, and it's really important. It's about house brands, it's about CBD oils and things like that. Health and wellness, cryptocurrency and all this other crazy good stuff. Like, just go check it out. Do me a solid. www.mydailychoice.com. Go check it out. All right, Julian. No shameless plugs for me. Let's go to the main event.
All right, we got our main event. We've got the WWE Heavyweight Champion, Big E Langston, defending his championship in a solid steel cage against the former champion and leader of the Hurt Business, Mr. Bobby Lashley. Not to be confused with Bobby Ashley, but Mr. Bobby Lashley.
Wait. Not Bobby Ashley?
Not Bobby Ashley. Bobby
Lashley. Bobby Ashley. That's what she said. Ashley.
Now, if you're wondering where MVP is, he just had knee surgery. He's still out. So he's not going to be on TV for a couple weeks.
Get well soon, MVP. Oh, man. This is Shane's favorite part of the night because, Shane's one of those guys that likes big, sweaty man slapping meat in the cage.
Big, sweaty man slapping meats.
Just slapping meat in the cage.
So before the matches even start, you have Bobby Lashley attacking Big E outside the ring and throwing him around, hitting him with the guardrail, hitting him against the cage, and we go to a commercial. When we come back from commercial, we're being told that people were attending to Big E, because he got hurt, but he's going to heroically continue this match. So they get in the ring, and Big E just all of a sudden lights on fire. He's throwing Bobby into the ring, the sides of the cage, one side to the next. Then, of course, Bobby gets his heat back. One part of the night, Big E was going to try and hit a top rope big ending, and Bobby dropped down back to the ring apron and put him in a dragon sleeper in the corner.
Bobby wasn't playing no games tonight, man. Like I will tell you, over the course of the last 5-6 months since WrestleMania, Bobby has been on fire. Bobby has been like a killer.
Yes.
They did the whole hurt business gimmick where they were all like, they had the Hurt Business, Bobby's girls and all that stuff like that.
Yes.
And then Bobby just snapped and just started murdering people, like just became a fucking monster. And that's what he needed.
And that's what he needed
to do that.
And so it was a really solid match. And this was big sweaty men slapping meats in the middle of the ring. And, you had Bobby trying to climb out the ring. This was you could win by either climbing out the ring, walking up the door, or getting a pinfall inside the ring.
So usually steel cage matches, always in there was a pinfall, submission, or escape from the cage. I personally, when I've been in steel cage matches, I never want to escape the cage.
Especially because crawling over the top is just such a chore.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gives your opponent time to recover and grab your leg and pull you. I mean, we've seen that so many times. And the last thing you want is for you and your opponent to jump off the cage at the same time, and you have to have a photo finish to see who landed first.
What match was that?
That was Hogan and Orndorff, and that was also Cena and Batista.
It was also Bret Hart and someone else.
Where they had to do it to the 10th of a second or something like that.
Yeah.
Who's
Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that match. Okay. Yeah.
So
steel cage matches they're tricky.
So the match ends when Big E goes to hit a big ending. Bobby reverses it, hits the Dominator. He goes to walk out the ring. Big E keeps grabbing him, so Bobby comes back and stomps him some more and punishes him some more. And then instead of deciding to walk back out the door again, he's like, I'm just going to climb up the top of the cage. And so he goes to climb up the top of the cage, and Big E finally hits that top rope big ending, which looked fantastic. Bobby sold it great, and Big E pulled up the 1, 2, 3.
Brandon is right. Brandon said it was Bret Hart and Lex Luger at the Royal Rumble that happened. That's when they both had they were the co-winners of the Rumble, and they both got to challenge Yokozuna.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. You're right, Brandon. Thank you very much for that. But you're forgetting the best part of the whole match, though.
Oh, the Hurt Business interfere.
When Lashley was going for the door, Kofi smacked the shit out of him with that door.
Yeah, so the first time when Bobby Lashley went for the door, the Hurt Business had come down, and they had come to attack Big E, and Bobby was crawling for the door, and Xavier Woods, god damn, he smacked the shit out of Bobby Lashley with that door, left his ass laying.
I was feeling bad for Bobby. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And so, and then Xavier Woods went and super kicked a few people. And just, I mean, you want to talk about somebody looking strong. Xavier Woods is looking real strong. And then
Finally,
Kofi,
man, we were talking about that earlier tonight. Yeah. They need to put Xavier Woods in a position to where he wins a championship. Give him the freaking King of the Ring, man. Let him win the King of the Ring. I'd be so excited for that. King Xavier. You know, I mean, shit, let's do it.
And so while Xavier was working Shelton and Cedric outside the ring, Kofi was still on the cage because he'd been climbing up, and he hits the Nest T plunge and falls right back and knocks those two out. And so now the outside of the ring is finally cleared. So now we're back in the cage, and we get our finish.
It was an interesting show, to say the least. I'll tell you that.
It was a great show. It was a great show from beginning to end. I mean, you had a couple things. The Dewdrop match was really more a vehicle to pump up Shayna Basler. I'm not so sure the Carrillo Garza, get them some heat. And then of course, Jinder Mahal with his crew to get them some heat. But the other matches were really solid. And again, after last night, and let me just, this little caveat, it wasn't a solid show compared to last night. Anything would have been a solid show compared to last night. If I had some LJN figures on my table, that would have been a solid show compared to last night. This was just a plain old solid show.
Brandon, don't put this out in the ether.
Nah, we don't need that. We don't need
Xavier
that.
turns heel soon because of the jealousy factor of Kofi and Big E. Okay, I will say, me and Brandon both talked about it last. We both called the return of the Hurt Business last night, but I kind of had a little insider information. But speaking of insider information,
tell us more.
Spoiler time. So, for those people who are so excited for main event, let me tell you about main event, ladies and gentlemen. John Morrison defeated Drew Gulak on main event. The main event of main event. But the match that I'm pretty sure
main event has like regular matches. It's not a rehash show.
They have two matches. Okay. And the match, I know you're going to be so excited for it. You were like, I wonder where he's been. Your boy Mace, not T-Bar, your boy Mace destroyed the enhancement talent. So he's got himself a win. John Morrison beats Drew Gulak. Those matches were taped in Cincinnati on Thursday night. And they will air tonight, I guess. I don't know. Tomorrow. Whatever.
And when you say Mace, you don't mean Mason Betha.
No. I don't mean no. I mean your boy Mace. Okay. That's right. Not Pastor Mace, not Reverend Mace.
Not
your
Murder
boy
Mace
and T-Bar.
Okay.
Your boy Retribution Mace. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're very happy you guys joined us here on this Maniac Monday Night Mayhem here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by BodySlam.net. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, go check it out. Yes, main event is still a thing, Shane. I know, believe it or not, it's crazy. Like I said, go check it out. Go check us out on the intrawebs. You can find us on at www.theroundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can also find this recording and many, many others. If you go sign up on the YouTube channel right now, www.bodyslam.net. Go do it, ladies and gentlemen. And remember what I said. You sign up.
Click like and subscribe.
Somebody might click, and subscribe and win one of these DVDs. I'm just saying, giveaways. Go sign up right now. I'm telling you, Cassidy Haynes, he gives away a lot of shit. He's giving away Funko Pops and everything. We want you guys to sign up. We want you guys to click, and subscribe because some of the hottest wrestling news is going to be delivered, dropped down, and given to you every day. Spoon-fed to the fans, I like to say. www.bodyslam.net. Go click, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what's going to happen. Cassidy Haynes is known as the spoiler for a reason. The man brought that information about CM Punk signing AEW. Daniel Bryan, you never know what kind of news he's going to pop up with. You never know. So if I were you, I would go click, and subscribe right now. www.bodyslam.net. And if you want to watch this show, if you weren't able to watch this show live right here, you can go right here. Tell them.
Hey, if you're in the Portland, Oregon area, you can watch us on Xfinity and CenturyLink. Mondays at 10 o'clock on Channel 11, Xfinity TV and CenturyLink TV. On Tuesdays at 10 p.m., Channel 22, Xfinity TV, and Channel 8002, CenturyLink TV. And on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m., Channel 23, Xfinity TV, and Channel 8003, CenturyLink TV.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can watch us on TV. And if you want to listen to us, if you're just driving around in your car and you ain't got shit to do, and you're like, man, I really would love to listen to what these guys on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast have to say. You can go anywhere. I mean, anywhere that they have podcast networks. You can go watch us. You can go listen to us. You can go click, and subscribe on iHeartRadio. You can go to Spotify. You can Google. You can go to Amazon Music. You can go to all these places. But
you mean if there's a podcast, they can find us?
Man, if there's a podcast station, you just type in the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we are there. You know what, ladies and gentlemen?
No matter what country you're in.
No matter what country. Speaking of countries, shout out to Bangladesh. Listen to us, Bangladesh, watching this. Man, I tripped out when I looked at our thing. I'm like, Bangladesh? Who the fuck knew they had TV in Bangladesh? They're listening to us and watching us over in Saudi Arabia as well. Who knew? But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support the channel, you can support the channel on this podcast real easily by going to https://anchor.fm/the Roundtable Podcast /support. We love your support, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, if you want to buy those cool ass hats and t-shirts and tanks that I wear and hoodies, you can go here. www.503originals.com. That is www.503originals.com for all that cool shit. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another Maniac Monday night make here on the Roundtable Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by bodyslam.net. There's your boy Chemical Julian right there, the mixologist, the chemist of professional wrestling. I'm your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, the OI Heavyweight North American Heavyweight Champion. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another exciting installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace.